Hi, welcome to the part 2 on how to reline a 3D printed denture using a soft, rigid acrylic uh, with Vitacrylic, Vitacrylic, soft, rigid uh, material. Okay, so let me show you now what I did. The finished product of what I did to reline. Okay, so on the part one, I showed you how to pour this up properly, and then I put the post dam. As you can see there, there's a butterfly post dam. You see the butterfly post dam, and I also grooved not too heavy, but a light groove all around the edges. The reason why is because this patient doesn't have enough bone anymore, so there's not enough undercut to hold the denture. So I put the grooves I mean, hoping a little bit. Well, normally 99%, actually most of the time it works. It traps the air inside, so it helps with the butterfly, and with that traps the air and holds the denture in place. Okay, and then after that, after marking marking the groove on the post stem and on the edges, I boil this with soap and water, and then after that you clean it with the hot water, and while it's still hot, you brush it with the separating medium. Okay, and then let it cool down. The reason why is because, as you can see here, if I don't do that and I just brush here with a monomer, the monomer tends to be thick, so it doesn't adapt to the actual model, so it doesn't shrink. So after it cools down after boiling, and then you put the separating medium, and then it cools down, then you put it in water for about 15 minutes, and then so the water will start to seep into the stone, preventing bubbles, because if you don't do that, the air in between tends to go up to the what you call this, to the separating medium. So now the separating medium will create small bubbles everywhere, and you will have all of those small bubbles everywhere. So to prevent that, soak in water first before putting in the pot, pressure pot, on up. What was that? One, I think it's uh, processing it at 120 degrees Celsius, I think. So after that, for 45 minutes, so I grind everything, and then after grinding everything, I I put a VCO link bonding agent. Okay, this one is from Anaxdent. Anaxdent Anaxdent is you can check it online at Anax ANAX USA. Uh, Anaxdent. Oh, where's that? Okay, here. Here's one example. This is from Anaxdent, and this is a clear. This is actually really clear, like glass clear. I'm actually trying to reline directly a 3D printed denture. So instead of doing this, I can actually reline the same material within itself, but it's just that it costs more money to do this because this one is kind of expensive. So there's a part one and A and B for this. I guess the other one is a hardener. Yeah, this one is the duplicating silicone, and the other one is the hardener. So you mix 1-to-1 ratio, and then what you do is I have this from Annex 10 too. Wait, let me show you. That one better. So this one is also from Annex 10. I don't know if you can see the marking, but here it has a marking. It says Annex Dent, but you can check online. You can check online on Anax, ANAXUSA.com. And what you do with this one is you can see here, you can place this here. But before that, if you had this and the Reline material there, so what you do is before you take it off, so basically you grind the edges to fit in here. So once it fits in here, yeah. So once it fits inside the Annex 10, see this one is clear. You pour that inside to create a clear. Okay, but you don't pour it like that. You pour it upside down. So basically, you have a silicone putty. You put in the silicone putty here inside, and then this one without the stone. Of course, this one is with the Reline material. Just imagine it that it has the Reline material. You put the silicone putty inside, and then you press in. Now, all of those will come to all the edges. So basically, this one is exposed, and then you close it. And then remember, this one has grooves in it. It has grooves. So that's why when you put the silicone putty and then you push it in, all the silicone putty will flow all around it. Okay? And then what you do after that is that this one stays in the middle, and then you put the top, close it up. Where's the other one? Okay, here. Okay, just imagine it. I will show next time on how to reline a 3D resin with how to reline a 3D printed denture with a 3D resin. So just imagine that one is already has a putty inside and it's sealed. So then you pour this one, this is part B, the silicone, and the part A, the hardener. So you mix that to 1-to-1 ratio. You mix that. It says the instruction is to mix it under vacuum, and then after mixing it under vacuum, you pour it up. So basically, it's almost like duplicating the denture, but that's not what you're doing right now. What you do is you pour it up, put it in a pressure pot, I think there's a temperature that you have to put it on a temperature. Oh, it's on the other instruction. Around 25, 30 degrees Celsius temperature for about 30 minutes. Okay? And then what happens is now the base is now, once it sets, then your base is now clear. So basically, you can see the denture once you take it off. Once you take off, and then it will become your base. This is what I use for my all-on-4 immediate load dentures. So basically, it'll create like, well, this one has been here for a long time, but this one is yellow already, but this has been sitting for a couple of months already, maybe a month, no, not a couple of months, maybe just a month and a half. So as you can see here, see that? It's clear. So basically, this one is like that. So now you can clean out all the Reline material and then add the VisiLink bonding agent to the surface. And then, oh, I forgot. Before you do that, before you pour, make sure you have access, like here, the holes. So you might want to put somewhere, maybe add the wax here, so it's outside, so it's not inside, and on the edges. Okay, so add extra wax when, like, if this is a Reline material, then let's add wax on the edges and maybe out here. So when you pour it, you're not touching the inside. Okay. So you can now inject directly the 3D resin on your matrix, and then because it's clear, as I said, it's going to be clear. It's almost as clear as this one, like this. Okay. So now you can actually inject. See, I have 3 holes here. You can actually inject through and see the material flow. Make sure making sure you all of is covered, and then you can also check on this sides. You can see the material flow, and then what you do is, what I do is, this holes is this wax, number 8, or is it number 6 wax. That's the one that I just wax on the edges. So once the material sets, you can actually take this off, because it doesn't get hot. It's cold. You can put it in cold water, and it'll come off easily. And then when you inject it, and then you can use this for doing a pressure type, like a pour type acrylic or flasking. You can seal that with that. So when you put it on light cure, if it expands, but normally it doesn't expand. When it cures, at least it cures properly there. So it's like you're pressurizing it, which is good also. So then you can put on light cure and let it cure. Now once that cured, you might, I have a light cure that I use it for, I think I will use it for 20 minutes, and then take it off or check it because I haven't done it yet. I will do that next time. I will try out, do some tests, study, and then after it's done, uh, you clean up all the edges, and then you still cure it in glycol, in glycerin, for another extra 20 minutes to seal air tight, and then plus to properly cure the resin. So because it says there to cure it for 40 minutes on the Pro Cure that I have, light cure unit. Okay, so that's how you reline the material. Two types, but right now I use just the soft rigid acrylic. So now it's done, so doctor can place it in the patient's mouth, and I know it's hard, but once it touches the gum of the patient, it will soften and it will be very, very comfortable. So these are one of the materials that really bonds well with the 3D printed resins. Okay. So if you like the video and the lesson, subscribe, and I will show you guys more. Oh, and by the way, if any doctor is watching this, when you do the reline, make sure you clean all the what you call that, fixodent. Okay, the fixodent. If the patient puts a lot of fixodent in their mouth, before you reline, take them all off. On the denture, rub them all off, clean it off, the denture, and then clean it off all the mouth, on the mouth too. 100%. It has to be cleaned before you do the rubber base reline. Okay, or any PVS, VPS reline, because when we pour up the stone in there, the stone has a lot of bubbles. You know those bubbles? Those bubbles are from the fixodent materials, or any materials that's the same as the fixodent. The reason is it doesn't set. The stone will not set. So when we take it off, all of those are there on the stone, so we have to take it off. And once you take it off, of course, the surface is not anymore accurate because they're full of bubbles. And then not only that, so when it also embeds inside the rubber base, that the reline material that you put, you might not see it. Maybe it's the same color, but it's in there, and we might not see it. And then if we do see it, if we take it off, all of those, will create an uneven surface because while taking it off, of course, it's not accurate anymore. So just for your info, please take off all of those fixodent or same material glue from the denture and also in their mouth. Clean them all properly before placing the reline material. Oh, and second, buy a PVS adhesive, either the brush on or the spray. But if you don't want the brush on because you can't brush it on, you have to have one of those the buds, cotton buds. You dip it in there, and then because you cannot double dip. You don't want the bacteria going to the adhesive material. So the spray, you don't touch the area. You just spray it on top, and then wait it to dry up a little bit. Then it becomes sticky, and then you apply the rubber base or the reline material. Okay, it helps a lot because when you don't do that, sometimes the material doesn't stick on the denture, and when we pour it up, you can see it moving. When it's moving, that's already a no-no. So what I do is I return it back to the doctor and tell them, Doc, you have to redo the reline because I show them, you see, it's not sticking. The material's moving, so it's not accurate anymore. So that's how you prevent, from redoing the reline material. Okay, so just for the doctors, okay, and for dental assistants who do this type of work. Okay, so thank you and see you again on another lesson. Okay, all right, bye.